Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new, I'm Nyx with Crowmates Apothecary, and today I'm bringing you a tarot pick-a-card reading where we're going to be looking into what it is that you can manifest during the new moon on July 17th. So starting on the far left side, we have the Rider-Waite Tarot deck along with this Bloodstone, and this is going to be representing group number 1. In the center with the Marigold Tarot and this pink agate, this is going to be representing group number 2. And lastly, we have the Wild Unknown Tarot deck along with this Dragonstone representing group number 3. So feel free to pause the video if you need and just meditate on the decks that I have laid out before you. And when you've made your decision, head on down to the description box below and click on the timestamp that corresponds to the group that you chose. And remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more tarot pick-a-card readings in the future. And I will see you guys in your reading. Hello group number 1, and here's your reading all about what it is that you can be manifesting with the new moon on July 17th. So if you chose the Rider-Waite Tarot deck along with this Bloodstone, this is going to be your reading. And with the Bloodstone here, this is really here to help remove emotional and physical blocks, and it can really help in purifying like the body, mind, and spirit of negative energy. So we're gonna keep that right in sight for you guys. We'll get started by shuffling the deck a little bit. What can group 1 manifest in the new moon? What should they focus on? We have a few cards coming out, and I am going to take the ones that are down because this is just too many. So the ones that are down, flipping them over, we have the Fool, the Knight of Wands in the reverse position, and the Queen of Wands in the reverse position. So what I'm initially getting from this is that you are going to be going on some sort of like new journey. You are really taking the new moon as a like positive, fresh, new sign for you to start allowing yourself to feel more free and allowing yourself to really go after something that you've been wanting to have for some time, or you're trying to bring it into your life during this time. We're also seeing though that we are going to have maybe a little bit of your energy might just feel kind of like it's out of flow with you. Maybe you're just interested in so many things that it's just kind of like grabbing at you and pulling at you in different directions. And so you're not able to set yourself up with one direct goal. And so that could be a little bit of a struggle that you'll need to overcome, is just feeling really like frustrated because you want to go on this journey and you're like super excited and like maybe leaning a little bit more on the naive side of the Fool, where like this figure is like walking towards the edge of the cliff with like no thoughts, head empty kind of mentality. It's like they just want to explore, they want to do something new, but because of that they can fall victim to things such as having this scattered energy or having delays in their movement. We can also see too during this time that there could be something under the surface that's causing your emotions to also be a little bit like harsh on yourself. So you're demanding too much of yourself, and it's making it really hard for you to be able to go on this journey because you're either taking it out on yourself or you're taking it out on other people that you're like, I really want to do this thing. And it's really it's really hard for you to get aligned with this initial journey that you want to go on. So what I'm seeing with the new moon is that I do believe that this is a great time for you to start something new, but I think now that you're seeing this video today, you have a few days to plan. So if you're seeing this video when it comes out on the 12th, you have a little bit of time to really sit down and figure things out within yourself to see what it is that you truly want, so you don't fall victim to the Knight of Wands or the Queen of Wands in reversed. So we're gonna pull some clarifying cards too, because yes, we have this new journey, but how do we work through the Knight of Wands and the Queen of Wands? what can group one do to really embrace this Fool card and move forward? We have the Six of Cups. Okay, that makes sense. What can we do? This one flew out. Ooh, the Sun in reversed. It's beautiful. And the Four of Swords in the reverse position. Okay, so what I'm kind of seeing from this, why I was like happy initially seeing the Six of Cups jump out, is because I think you need to allow yourself to see things in the eyes of a child again. You need to approach this new thing that you want, this new manifestation that you're trying to head towards, with these like fresh eyes, and not try to judge yourself very, very harshly, is what I'm feeling. Because it can be really easy for you to like think that, like, oh, I've done this before, I've been down this path before, and it didn't work for me now or then, so why would it work for me now, kind of thing. So I think that you being able to tap into that inner child and really be able to like come at it from the sense of naivety and like innocence will make it an easier transition. Try not to get bogged down from previous like feelings and really demanding too much out of yourself. You should see this new manifestation as this sort of opportunity to start with like a completely fresh slate. And we're also seeing that there's these 2 points here that are kind of leading me toward you needing to not burn out, for one, because this card deals heavily with burnout, but also I was getting the message from like the Sun in reversed, so like burning out kind of thing. The Sun in reversed is still generally a very positive card though, but what I'm thinking is that because I pulled both of these, is that you are going to have this ability to succeed, but these things are kind of holding you back a little bit, in the sense of, again, you're like wanting too much of yourself and you're trying to do so much, and because you're trying to go like forward and do so much, you're going to hit this sort of like burnout segment, or you're not going to be able to progress further, kind of thing. So I'm really seeing that if you're able to tap into this childlike wonder and innocence, nostalgia, all of this, you're gonna be able to avoid these 2 more like negative aspects. Because the negative side of the Sun reversed is that it could be like a temporary like sadness or depression kind of thing, where it's like you thought everything was gonna like go amazingly, and then it just sort of like, it's like, oh, it didn't go quite like how I wanted, kind of situation. So I think though that you are going to be able to really like sprout up like how this tree is, if you dig down deep and are able to really ground yourself and get that plan in place that we were talking about before. So let's see if we can get any cards for advice for you as well. So I got a little bit of advice for the Queen and Knight of Wands in reversed. So let's go forward. We have the Two of Cups flying out. What other advice can we give to group number 1? We have Two of Cups, the Tower, and Two of Pentacles. I feel like I want one more. And then the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Okay, so what I'm getting from this, firstly, this could be some sort of romance moment. It could be that you are having this like sudden attraction to someone during this time, or maybe you're getting together with someone, or if you are already with someone, it could be that you guys are really starting to align, like you're starting to get on the same page with each other, and it's making things a lot easier when it comes to wanting to explore these new situations that you're trying to get into, this new manifestation. However, I think that with this being advice, seeing the tower directly next to the Two of Cups is this is generally a moment that's completely out of our control. So I'm taking this as either that there's going to be a sudden change. So it could be that you weren't looking for love, and then there's a sudden like realization that was out of your control, like someone comes to you and says like, hey, I'm into you, kind of thing. Or it could be that on the opposite end of things, that you are suddenly realizing situations that where you're not working together with a partner, and you're starting to realize that there's this breakdown in communication during this time. The Two of Cups, it doesn't have to be romantic either. It can very much deal with like new ideas and just like new paths that you want to travel. So if you aren't looking for love, or this is like not at all something that's going on in your life, it could be just this like new like creative idea that you are getting an epiphany for, and it's suddenly being surged to your forefront for you to examine. Or you've been working on something and you're being hit with this external force that's being like, no, this is not going to work for you long term. You're like realizing it suddenly. And the tower is a very like powerful card and is kind of harsh. Like it wants us to know that there's something intense that's going to happen, or you're currently going through it, that you can't really help stop, kind of thing. And it's here to put you on the right path though. So I'm thinking that there's kind of some like mucking about going on, where you're either tiptoeing around something and you're not fully pushing yourself into what it is that you truly want to do for one reason or another. Like you're afraid of how people are going to like view you, or you're afraid if it's going to actually allow you to succeed. But I think you need to really harness like the Fool and the Six of Cups energy, and you really need to kind of push yourself out of your comfort zone. Try to throw away that logical mindset that's telling you that it won't work, and do not be like harsh on yourself because of it. Because the tower moment that happens is either going to pull this thing away from you, or it's going to shove it towards you. So it's like very magnetic. Whichever way it's going to go, it's going to make it very apparent. You're not going to be sitting there going like, okay, well, like, is this still, I'm still kind of waiting for a sign if this is the right thing to be doing or not. It's like there's going to be a definite moment that shows you whether or not your situation that you're in is going to show whether or not it's working. We're also seeing, however, in the Two of Pentacles, some advice I'm pulling from this card is, again, this is like a lack of being organized. So I think you really need to take time to plan before you're able to manifest. And also this can be, because it's a pentacle, it could be dealing with some sort of financial hit. So there could be some situation where you are either needing to put up money, or like you lost money in some way. So really, as its advice, be careful during this time. So July 17th, so 16th, 17th, 18th, be careful about where you're spending your money, and if you're signing contracts, just be careful during this time. Make sure you read all the fine print and know like exactly what it means, whatever it is that you're getting into. And lastly, we're seeing in the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse position is that this card comes out and is once again kind of the same vibes as the Tower. It can indicate bad luck, or negative external forces. So something that's out of your control that's coming into your life and causing something to be like kind of like shook up a little bit. It's definitely a out of your control situation. So my advice is that if you feel the need to protect yourself during this time, obviously make sure you do that, but definitely try to allow these things to come into your life, these changes that need to happen with as little resistance as possible. I know that's really, really hard to do because it's just a lot to think that everything is under control and then there's a like spanner that gets thrown in the works and you're like, great, now what kind of situation. I want to pull one more card for you because I'm really just feeling it. I need one more because there's a lot going on. You had like this sudden energy that just later in the reading just told you things need to shift. But I think that you just need to try to keep as positive as possible. Not allow your emotions to get the better of you during this time. Try not to take it out on yourself or other people. Not these ones. One more card, please. Where's one? Okay, we have the Five of Swords coming out. So in this card here, I'm seeing that there's going to be some sort of like loss. There's going to be something that is getting pulled away from you that isn't quite like you didn't see this like pulling away from you, and it's going to be happening during this time. But as we lose something, we also gain another thing. So I think along with this bloodstone too being here, trying to help with like purifying yourself and trying to cleanse yourself of negative energy, I feel like there's just something going on. It's not like a behind your back kind of situation. I think it's just the universe is really, really trying to push something into your life, and it's not that you're like purposefully trying to block it. It's just that you're not sure if you're ready to make this journey. You're not sure if you can go down this path, and you're really afraid to go down it by yourself. But I'm kind of getting the feeling like this is a moment that just needs to happen for you to learn something more about yourself, and it is something to go through, like a challenge or a struggle where you're gonna do so much better on the other side of it, but you're just not like how the Fool is here as your first card. It's just sort of like you're not noticing it, you're not realizing that it's a thing that's going to happen, and you're kind of just gonna go with the flow. And I think that's gonna be the best bit of advice that I can give you, is just sort of allow things to happen around you, because the Tower especially, but also with the fact that the Wheel of Fortune came out like right after it, it's out of your control, and it's something that you resisting is not going to stop it from whatever that's going on here. So I'd say with you going into the new moon, things that you want to manifest, I would say the best thing to manifest would be just the ability to have this like grace and go with the flow energy during this time. Because again, this is kind of like an inevitable thing. This is not a like, if I put in hard work, it's going to suddenly change. I'm seeing it as more of a, this is something you have to go through in order to level up, in order to really bring about positive changes in your life. So try to take it with as much like you going with the flow as possible. I know it's so hard to hear too, because I get kind of like, I cling on to absolutely everything, so I do not like going with the flow, but I'm trying to learn how to be better about that. We're gonna pull a few more cards for any like last messages, and then I will do self-care cards because I feel like you guys are going to want and need it during this time. So the first one we have coming out that slid right out is the Smoky Quartz with protection. So yes, definitely protect yourself during this time. There's some stuff going on that, yes, needs to happen, but you definitely need to also protect yourself during this time to make sure that you ultimately are all right in the end. We also have a crown coming out, which is connected and elevated. So you being connected to your like crown chakra and really listening with your mind instead of like your heart during this time is a message that I'm getting, is really allow yourself to lean a bit more on that, like not even practical, but like analytical side where you are taking in information and trying to process that information. Stay lighthearted and stay like open to things, but definitely think things through also during this time. We also have a Scorpio coming out, which shows on here honest, determined, and focused. So it could be that you are a Scorpio or have it in your sun, moon, or rising. Or it could maybe the person that you have this Two of Cups connection with is a Scorpio. But also seeing the traits of Scorpio on here, honest, determined, and focused. Be completely honest with yourself during this time. Don't try to sugarcoat things to yourself, but also don't harm yourself. Like, don't be talking down on yourself either, being like, oh, well, of course this would happen to me, da da da. Like, don't do that to yourself. Just stay like as literally as honest with yourself to make this like the proper like choices that you need to make in the direction that you need to go, because it also shows determined and focused. So you're going to make it through this. It's just going to be that there's like a rough patch, it feels like. We'll pull some self-care cards for you as well. Group number 1. So what can group number 1 do to help ease their minds throughout this time? The first one we have is make a meal. So if you're somebody who loves to cook, this is going to be a brilliant sign for you. If you're somebody who normally likes to go out and eat, maybe take the time to research foods that you love eating, but then try to make them yourself so you can get really like connected with the food that you are making. And when you're ingesting it, you know, like that there's nothing like negative put into it. I like work a lot with food because like I cook a lot, so I tend to try to put my intentions into my meals. And I know to some people that could sound like a little strange or whatever, but it's like it's just trying to add just that little bit more of like self-care and self-love to yourself. It's like if I'm sitting there like adding ingredients and stuff, I'm just gonna be like, oh, this is going to taste great, and like I like feel like that, like I'm trying to put in like the feelings of like love and stuff into my food as I'm making it instead of being distracted kind of thing. So I feel like you being able to do that for yourself might help you during this time. Also, if you have needed to take a look at your diet, so as we get older, our tastes change, but also our ability to actually process certain foods in our bodies changes as well. So this might be a sign as well that you might need to look more critically at what it is that you're eating and see if there's any changes that you need to be making. And maybe during this time, you will kind of learn a little bit of things about yourself that you want to take care of as well. And then one more. We also have coming out is meditate. So in meditate here, obviously try to stay as grounded to yourself as you possibly can. Just like how we have the crown card here, we can see this like beam of rainbow light coming out from the top of their mind kind of thing. So trying to keep yourself grounded, but also using your head again. And just know that you are going to be able to navigate whatever it is that's going on with this sense of grace and with this sense of like calm. So even if it's something that you feel like you're kind of blindsided by, you're going to be able to tap into this like inner ability and be able to take care of things the way that you want to. Try to avoid that like rushed nature, and try to avoid that that sort of demanding, like aggressive nature that the Queen of Wands in reversed has as well, because we do see a lot of conflict and loss coming up. So make sure that during this time you just try to be at peace with yourself as best as possible. Obviously take the time to process the information, but don't try to push yourself or like rush things, is what I'm feeling. I've got these cards here that I'll pull a message from as well. So we have, when would it now be a good time? So there's something going on that is like happening. It's literally like happening now. It's something that, again, I'm getting this feeling like it's out of your control, and it's kind of like it's just hitting at this perfect time that like, as much as you don't want this to happen, whatever it is, whatever this ending is, or whatever this like sudden upheaval in your life is, it is something that's going to be doing so much more for your future self, and you just have to kind of ride the waves through it, is what I'm seeing. So if you liked this reading or it resonates with you, remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more Tarot Pick a Card readings in the future. And if you would like to, head on down to the comment box below and leave an avocado emoji in the comments to let myself and others know that you did get to this point in your reading. I hope that you are able to get through this time easily. I hope that you can manifest this new feeling of just positivity, trying to see things through the eyes of a child, really being able to go on this new journey, because the universe is trying to push it towards you, is trying to guide you to this new point. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you in our next video. Hello, group number 2, and welcome to your reading all about what it is that you can manifest during the new moon of July 17th. So if you chose the Marigold Tarot along with this pink agate, then this is going to be your reading. And with this crystal here, this is really here to help bring together opposites. So if you are having some sort of like dispute with somebody, this can help you guys kind of come to a compromise with one another. It can also help in healing certain situations regarding anger and bitterness in your heart. So that is there for you to view during your reading. Lastly, it's also helpful in promoting like love between parent and child relationships, and being able to have them come to an understanding as well, because of, you know, the generational gap. Sometimes it can be hard dealing with your parents, or if you are the parent, you starting to understand your child a bit more. So we're going to shuffle this deck and look into what it is that group 1 can manifest during the new moon. The first card we have is the Chariot. Next we have the Two of Pentacles. One more. And we also have the Four of Wands in the reverse position. So I'm seeing a few things. The first thing that I am getting is that this is going to be kind of like this fast-paced time for you. There's going to be a lot of movement, and there's going to be a lot of you really taking the reins on something and being able to see things through with like an obvious victory for you at the end of it. So I'm seeing that whatever it is that you're manifesting, that you're going to be able to have this beneficial outcome for you, something that you have been wanting for a while, and something that I think you really just deserve because you have been putting in the energy for it. This is a great time to tap into your inner willpower and to be able to just push yourself a little bit more. So if you've been kind of going the distance, this is kind of a call for you to just continue along that path, because you're going to be able to reach it eventually. We're also seeing that there is going to be you allowing or having the time to prioritize everything that you want to get done. So you are going to be a master of your own routine, and you're going to be a master of like time management. So you're going to be able to really have all your ducks in a row, and you're going to be like, I've got this done, this done, this done, this done, this done. Like, you're going to go through that list and really be able to work efficiently and be able to balance yourself instead of feeling like there's just one way is just like really pushed aside and then the other is taking up so much of your life. So you're feeling a good work-life balance, but you're also feeling it in other aspects of your life as well. Like, I'm seeing that your emotions are also going to be really like on par with everything else in your life. You're just succeeding during this time is essentially what I'm trying to say. We're also seeing that you're going to allow yourself to celebrate it a little bit too on the inside. So it might not be something that you are publicly going out there and like shouting from like the rooftops about your success story. I think this is something that you're kind of keeping to yourself a little bit. Either you're somebody who's already a little bit more humble, or you're somebody who likes to celebrate more quietly. I completely understand. And you're going to take that time for yourself, and you're going to be able to really just sort of revel in it for a little bit. I don't think you're bragging. Like, that's the vibe that I'm getting. It doesn't feel like you're out there trying to show up other people or bragging or anything. I'm just thinking that you are kind of patting yourself on the back a little bit. You're like, yes, I got through this, or this is the next step that I'm taking. I'm also seeing for some of you, this isn't for all of you, but you are transitioning in some way. So it could be during this time that there could be a change. Since we are seeing pentacles, this could be potentially a change of jobs. So maybe you've been looking for a job and then you're going to be going to a new one, or you got a promotion at work and that's why you're quietly celebrating. I'm seeing it as just some sort of movement in your life. There could be other like things that you could be transitioning out of or from, like relationships or things like that, that again are celebrations that you are happy about and not the whole world needs to know, kind of thing, at least not yet, kind of feeling is what I'm getting. I'm definitely getting that you guys are a bit more reserved. And while you are very confident in yourselves, though, I'm seeing like a very strong sense of confidence, is that I don't see it, again, like I don't see it as bragging. I don't see it as needing to share it with everybody. So we are going to pull some clarification cards, any other further messages. So this is already a very beautiful start to your time here. This card wanted to come out and it like came up as reverse, but like flipped out and over as the Ace of Cups. So we're gonna take it. We also have the Page of Swords. Let's do one more. And then we have the Four of Swords in the reverse position. So how I'm seeing this here is we had the Ace of Cups like jump out. So this can deal with a whole slew of things, but I'm seeing it mainly as this could be a potential for some sort of like love situation to be coming out toward you. So you could be transitioning from being single to being in a relationship during this time. It can also deal with intense like creativity. So maybe there's been a personal project that you've been working on, that you've been pouring a lot of like love and energy and time into, and this is going to really start to form during this time. I'm also getting this feeling too of, while I stated up here that everything seems to be like balanced and in order, this card can sometimes indicate some sort of overflow of emotion, but in a positive way. So it's not like you're getting really, really super angry or anything like that. It's kind of like crying in a happy way is kind of like the feeling that I'm getting from this card too. So it could be that you're getting extremely good news, again, reason to celebrate, that is making you so happy kind of thing. But I'm not seeing it as being a disruption to your emotions or like a negative thing to your emotions. We're also seeing that there is going to be, I'm seeing a lot of movement, but I'm also seeing the potential of um, maybe that you are keeping things a little bit too like close to your chest, and because of that you're feeling this sort of like restlessness, kind of like, because you can't get it out. Like I couldn't talk just then. So it's like you can't like get it out to other people, and you're finding it kind of hard to be able to discuss it with those people. Or it could be that maybe because you are like celebrating to yourself and everything, because people may have thought that like you were going for something, and because you weren't outright exclaiming it, they could see you as potentially being like all talk and no action. And you know where you succeeded. So what other people see or think about you, like, don't worry about it. Do not get their thoughts like in your head. You're allowed to succeed, and you're allowed to do it to where you feel good about it, and you don't have to speak it to everybody if you don't want to. But I'm just letting you know that that's kind of like a feeling I'm getting from these cards here, is that it almost feels like there are people that are viewing you that are going to be like, oh, well, they're not doing the thing that they said that they were going to do, and da 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 da, but like you already did, you already succeeded kind of thing. So just let them talk. Don't try to get involved in their situation. If that is like what they want to do, then they can have their opinion of you, but you know truthfully what it is that you've done, and that you have been doing well. The last thing though that I'm seeing is that this could potentially be an indication where you are feeling a period of burnout. So you could be feeling maybe a little like, after you've reached the ending of this point, is now you're kind of like, okay, like I can't do anything now for a while kind of thing. So give yourself that chance to breathe and really regenerate yourself after this. So whatever it is that you've been working toward, when you do hit that completion moment, just please take a break and actually rest yourself, because I'm getting this feeling like it is going to be kind of like a big like like a big breath of like fresh air, a big sigh, like release kind of moment, and you can't just jump back up on the horse and like keep going immediately after. So definitely allow yourself that chance to rest. We're gonna pull a few more cards as well. Any more messages for group number 2? What they can manifest during the new moon of July 17th. The first one that had fallen out is the Knight of Wands. Then we have the King of Wands reversed right next to it. I'm gonna do two more. The Two of Cups in the reverse position. This is advice. Yes, and the Two of Pentacles, again, coming out. So what I'm getting from this here is we are seeing this like Knight of Wands that's coming out, and in this one here, this card can sort of indicate that you have like a lot going on and you're kind of getting pulled in all these different directions, and it may be indicative of you needing to make a decision, but you either have to make one really, really fast, or you don't know how to like reach this end point of some sorts. So it could be here to just warn you, just to make sure that it could be a little bit hectic during this time, but you need to kind of try to keep yourself contained. You could be really, really excited about something that is like going really well for you. So you just have to rein yourself in a little bit and try to not get taken with this energy, because it's very much like it's like you're jumping in a car and you're barely able to shut the door before it's like speeding off kind of feeling. So like it's definitely a fast-paced feeling, but you need to just make sure that you shut the door and then buckle your seatbelt kind of thing afterwards. So just try to keep everything in check and aligned with yourself during this time. We're also seeing with the King of Wands in the reverse position that this could be that you are having, again, this is a very like haste moving card. It's like impulsive almost. So there's a lot going on that I think you just need to try to align with that balance. Like try to keep everything in balance, including your emotions and including when you need to make decisions, because we're seeing here multiple times that there's this like expectation for you to make a quick decision on something, and if you don't have all of the information, you could be making one that is detrimental to yourself. So just try to get aligned with everything. If you are viewing this video on the day it comes out, so on the 12th, you have a few days to sort of prepare before the 17th comes up. So just try to get everything in order is what I'd say. We're also seeing these cards dealing with balancing and whatnot. And in this one here, it's showing a lack of balance in the sense of, most particularly in a relationship of some sort, this could be a card that's showing this sort of like lack of harmony in your relationship to the point of a breakup. But I'm not getting breakup vibes from the rest of this group. I'm getting that you're succeeding and that something is going on that is going to bring about this positive notion for you. So if this is a breakup, it's something that you've wanted. Like it's not something that you're like blindsided by and you're gonna lose sleep over. It's like something that you have been kind of like wanting to see the end of, but I'm not getting that message for most of you. I'm getting for most of you that this is probably if you're in a relationship with somebody, is that you guys just might be going through a slight bump where it's just sort of like you're not seeing things from the same like you're not on the same page with one another on something. But more likely than not, I'm getting that this is going to be a creative thing, and it's that balance again, how we were seeing that you need to be balanced. I'm seeing that it could be that you are trying to put too much into it right now and that you need to pull back. So again, needing to rest. Don't try to overdo it and don't try to like push yourself if you can't reach this point. You don't want to burn yourself out on whatever creative thing it is that you're working on. And then we're also seeing in the Two of Pentacles, this is literally our balance card. So this is a card that is like, again, you had it up here. I think it's just here to like, not even warn, but it's here to like let you know that this is a priority, is that you need to balance your life and you need to really make sure that during this time that you aren't rushing into things and that you aren't trying to push things, especially when it comes to your emotions. You're not trying to shake the boat or anything like that. I think that you getting in order, getting into a routine or sticking to your routine is going to be what does, like what works its wonders on you the most. So I'm going to pull a couple more cards for any more messages for group 2. So far, it sounds like you're going to have a good time. Like, I think you're going to be able to really succeed in everything that you want. So good on you. I think you've got something to look forward to. Any last messages for group 2? The first one we have is a Pisces. It says imaginative, empathetic, and adaptable. So this could be your sun, moon, or rising, or it could just be that really during this time you are being struck in such a creative way, and you're going to be able to, like, again, like, go with that flow and be able to really open up, especially when it comes to your emotions, to certain situations that are going on. We have Aquamarine coming out, which stands for courage. So having the courage to go for what you want and having the courage to bring about this new manifestation. I think this isn't something that you guys are completing. So like if you've been listening and it sounded so like wild because you're like, I haven't been doing anything, it could just be that whatever thing that you have been thinking about, it could be the universe is like, go for it. It's trying to tell you that you need to go for whatever this thing is that you've been thinking about, because it's going to be the thing that positively influences your life, and that you need to harness courage in order to push yourself toward doing whatever this thing is. Again, because this card is sat now on the cards here that are dealing with haste, I'd say don't make rash decisions though. So if you are like trying to pick between 4 things and you're like, let me just quickly go with like whatever kind of thing, I don't think it's that. I think, again, whatever is going to put your life in balance and whatever is going to feel the most aligned with yourself is what you need to focus on. And I'm actually going to move this a little bit because 2 cards flew out. So the first one we have is Waxing Crescent, which says, I manifest my dreams, which is beautiful. This is a great card to come out during this time. This is all about manifesting something into our life. So you are going to manifest your dreams. So whatever it is that you have your heart set on, I really think that you're going to be able to see it through and you're going to be able to succeed. We're also seeing in Ghost Pipe, it says immerse in your shadow's wisdom. So with this card, I always take it as you knowing yourself. So you're going to be the person that knows yourself the best. And I think it's here to let you know that you know your strengths and your weaknesses. So all of your flaws, you're going to be able to kind of stop those, like anything that could be affecting you negatively, you're going to be able to stop them because you know yourself so well. So really take the time during this time to tap into things. And if you are like, oh, I really want to do this, but some of the things inside of you are like saying like, oh, well, we can't do that because of XYZ inside of us. If it's something that you truly can't work on and change, then you need to adapt. You need to be like, okay, I do want to do this, but I have to do it in this way in order to get out to this outcome, because I know like I can't be doing this constantly. So say you're somebody who you want to be like a travel influencer or something, but like you don't have the money to be going out and traveling kind of thing, and it's something that right now you can't generate that wealth, or like maybe you're terrified of flying or something like that, you have to do it in a different way. You have to pivot. So maybe instead of you starting a channel or an Instagram or something like that where you're flying out to different places, you start smaller and you start like in your state or wherever it is that you live, you start there and you start doing, hitting up the sites there before you, as you build your audience and start to grow beyond that kind of thing. So just really tap into what it is that you know of yourself to be able to use it as a positive instead of looking at things about you as if it's a negative thing. We're also going to pull some self-care cards for you. So what self-care can group 2 go through during this time to really help ease their minds, help them feel so full with this, this positive win that they manage. I got a few for you guys, and I'm gonna pull all of them because they just refuse to leave. So the first one we have is spend time with animals. This is so cute here. So if you have a pet, give them a little cuddle, or if you have the time, volunteer to work with animals, then by all means, if you're called to do that, then do so. Also, like seeing out in nature certain animals too. So if you're seeing repeat wildlife kind of thing, they could be there as like a sign that you are pushing yourself in the right direction, or they could also indicate something more. So you can maybe like Google what it is that they mean if you see certain animals more often. That's super cute. We also have coming up drink tea. So if you are a tea drinker, this is already going to be a great sign for you. But for someone who may not like the taste of tea or isn't like maybe you're not used to tea, try to pick something that is not going to offend your senses, because I know there can be some that can be very, very strong, or maybe you're just not knowledgeable on certain teas. So maybe you're like, you only ever know of black tea, but you've never tried green tea or white tea, and you wouldn't realize that you actually have a preference for those. So maybe kind of like allow yourself to be calm and drink tea at the end of the night. They almost look like they're wearing pajamas and this kind of thing. So maybe a night routine would be for you to sit down with your thoughts, and again, kind of like a little moment of celebration where you're able to sit down and just decompress and have tea. And then we also have sound healing coming out. So with this here, the figure in this card is working with singing bowls. So if that's something you like to do, then obviously go ahead and tend to that hobby of yours. Otherwise, you can listen to people online who do sound healing and like singing bowls, and that's always nice to listen to. I also take this card as like sound healing. You're listening to music. Like I love listening to music as a way of like sort of like therapy. Is like if you're like, I need a good cry, you listen to your cry soundtrack. If you're like, I want to have this positive, upbeat, bouncy sort of like situation, then you can obviously listen to that sort of thing. So whatever applies to you, try to do these things during this time frame as well, so you can feel a little bit more grounded. I'm going to pull one of these cards here to finish out the reading. Okay, this card here says, if you do not choose how you feel, then the world will choose for you. Master your frequency. So this is really here to indicate that you are the person that has the control over your life in order to bring about whatever it is that you want. So you manifesting, that's on you, and otherwise you're going to have just the world be moving around you and it's going to bring it towards you. But I think that you have the power in it of yourself to really be able to push yourself forward and really be able to again, it says master your frequency. You're going to be able to master that for yourself instead of just sitting back and letting other people do the work. I think you're somebody who wants to progress and wants to like make a name for yourself a little bit. And so with that, I really think that you're going to be the one who puts in the work, and you're going to be the one that like takes it in your hands to get that done. So that's amazing. That's so like great for you guys. So if you liked this reading or it resonates with you, remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more Tarot Picket card readings in the future. And also, if you did get this far in your reading, leave a dog emoji in the comment box below to let myself and others know that you did get this far in your reading. I hope you have a great time manifesting. I hope you have a great time celebrating whatever it is that you've been working on. And I will see you guys in our next video. Have a great day. Hello, group number 3, and welcome to your reading all about what it is that you need to manifest during the new moon on July 17th. So if you chose the Wild Unknown Tarot deck along with this Dragonstone, then this is going to be your reading. And with the Dragonstone, this is actually a very rare type of gemstone, and it is really here to help you balance health issues, especially when it has to pertain with recovering from an illness. It can also really help breaking down like bad patterns and bad habits that you have in your life. So if those are things that you need, that stone is there for you. So let's get started. We're gonna pull a few cards for group 3. What is it that they need to manifest during this upcoming new moon? What does group 3 need to know? Not all these. The first card we have coming out is the Page of Wands in the reverse position. We're also seeing 3 of Swords in the reverse position. And lastly, we have the Ace of Swords. Okay, so you've got some really powerful, strong mental stuff going on right now, I'm seeing. I'm getting this feeling like you are wanting there to be something like finally started, in the sense of you want to go into this new moon with like these new fresh ideas and everything, but there's something there that's stopping you. And some of the things that I'm seeing is like, one, I'm seeing for some of you that there is just a lack of like direction. So you're having a really hard time knowing what it is that you want to manifest, because there's either too many options, or you are afraid of the unknown. You're afraid of putting all of your time and energy into something with it just not panning out in the end, kind of thing. So for some of you, that could be your worries. Whereas for others, I'm getting this feeling like you want to take a step forward, but then you keep getting sent 2 steps back, and you're getting really, really frustrated because you're like, look, I thought I was on the right path. What else can I be doing? But I think that the universe is kind of slowing you down and stopping you. It isn't necessarily that this thing isn't for you right now, but I think what I'm seeing is that the universe is trying, it's almost sending like warning signals kind of thing, trying to indicate that there are things below the surface that you need to take care of first before you're going to be able to manifest something a lot like bigger, being able to really really like align with those things. And the reason why I say that is because we are seeing that there is some sort of like release that you need to have from pain. There's some sort of either like trauma or some sort of bitterness that you're holding onto from having been like wronged in the past, and you need to let go of that, and you need to really release that pain before you're going to get struck with this sudden like inspiration that's actually going to hit you. I think it's just that it's whatever this pain is, it's really like causing things to like mess things up for you in the background. So it's not even something that you think of on the day-to-day. It's not something that like you think runs your life, but you are, because of it and because it hasn't been worked through, there are other things that are being affected, and you just like really aren't noticing it. You're not realizing that that was the thing that caused it, kind of thing. And it's this ripple effect. And because of that, it's making it really hard for you to be able to center yourself and be able to strive forward with this newness. But I am seeing for you, however, that you are going to have this sort of breakthrough moment. So I think just sort of this reads almost like a story, and it reads almost more like this is going to take a little bit of time. So I'm seeing this kind of as, this is different from the other groups actually. I'm seeing this as kind of like, this is the beginning of the new moon. So this is you going into like July 17th, and then this is like the lifespan of the moon. So kind of seeing that by the time we hit the full moon, you're gonna have these vibes of the Ace of Swords. So there's gonna be that chunk of time where you're just like half a month where you're gonna be being like, well, why isn't everything working? And then you're gonna realize like midway through, oh, I have all this stuff that I need to like, all this baggage that I have to take care of before I can really like push forward. And you're gonna have that epiphany moment and you're gonna have this victory. So you're going to be able to work through it and you're going to feel your like mind like open, basically, where you're going to realize like all the things that you need to do and you're going to realize what it is, like what steps you have to take in order to push forward. This isn't like indicating that everything's going to be like sunshine and rainbows kind of thing. It's still going to be hard work and it's going to take time. So this is like how I was saying that it's different from the other groups where it feels like it's something that's going to take a passage of time. But you do have the skills to get through this, is what I'm seeing. So we're going to pull some advice cards for you too, because I feel like let's help group 3 get some guidance, is what I'm thinking. I really think that you just need a little bit of help in that situation. Okay, I pulled like all of them at the same time, and this is like, I normally am pretty good at picking just one card, but yeah, so I'm gonna take all of these. Firstly, we are seeing the High Priestess. We have the Emperor. We have the Four of Wands, and we have the King of Swords. So this, the very first thing I wanted to say when I saw this is because they all have figures in them. I'm really seeing this as you having a support system. So I'm seeing you being able to rely on people around you in order to get help. It could be maybe you're really close with your family. It could be like maybe this is literally representative of like a father and of a mother. And then this could be another like male figure such as like a brother or maybe a very close friend or something like that. I'm just sort of seeing, for some of you, this is very much like these people in your life are family that are helping. And then obviously for those of us who rely more on our found family, it could be that your found family is really helping you during this time. And it doesn't have to be like one female and two males. It could be anyone of any gender identity. It's just that they have these sort of traits. And if it's not something like you relying on friends, this could be things inside of you that are helping you. But for some people, it really hit me strongly that this is a support system of some kind. So firstly, we are seeing that the Emperor is very much a like solid foundation and very much comes from having this intense structure and is able to rule from this very opinionated and strong-willed like throne that he's sitting on. Like he knows what he wants and he knows how to get it, kind of thing. We're also seeing here in the High Priestess, this is really dealing with your like subconscious mind. So again, kind of indicative of needing to release pain is that I feel like you will know. You're going to be drawn toward it because the High Priestess helps us with our intuition and really being able to unravel the mysteries that are inside of us. So I think that there's going to be either a moment or there's just going to be you tapping into your intuition where you're going to be able to see what it is that you're struggling with, and you're going to be able to work through that. We also have the King of Swords coming out, which this is about having very clear thinking, having that mental clarity, like being able to have the truth come out and knowing yourself and knowing the situation and being able to use your mind to work yourself through this situation. So I'm seeing a lot of mental stuff. So that's why I'm saying it feels like some sort of release of pain, is I think there's a lot of mental things going on that you need to focus on before you're going to be able to do any more major manifestations. But down here we have the Six of Wands, And in this card here, this is very much a victory card. So you are making progress. You are feeling very confident in yourself, and people around you are noticing the shift of confidence. So I don't see, even though you have this past pain, I don't see this as like a negative reading. I'm seeing this as you really taking it up on yourself to get things done, and you're really going to be able to be successful with it. So that's amazing to hear. It's definitely hard when we have to go through these things, but I'm seeing you being able to come out on the other side as a stronger person. So we're gonna pull some advice cards as well. What advice can we give to group 3? We have the 10 of Swords coming out first and foremost. The 3 of Wands in the reverse position. We have the Sun, again, another very positive outcome, positive card. One more. And lastly, we have the Chariot. Okay, so yeah, I'm seeing that some things that you need to avoid are going to be you, I think, being afraid of some sort of ending, or being afraid of having to face whatever this grief is kind of what I'm seeing. So normally this deals with like you either being defeated or having a loss or being backstabbed by somebody. So obviously those are things that could possibly be happening, but I'm seeing it really tied in with the 3 of Swords in reverse. So I'm seeing this as you needing to not be afraid of delving into these further issues. I'm getting kind of like, not avoidance vibes from you, but maybe just like you don't know how to go about opening this up, or even recognizing it as something that was like really hurting you. So to suddenly pivot your attention back toward it, you're kind of like shaken up a little bit, because you're just like, wait, I didn't even think that this was a thing that was bothering me. So now that it's like suddenly coming out, you're just like, what, how am I supposed to deal with this kind of situation? So again, that's why I'm seeing this support system is like you have people to rely on and to talk to. We're also seeing that in the 3 of Wands reversed, this can be really indicative of not having like long-term goals, or having issues reaching certain long-term goals. It could be that there is a delay going on where you thought that you were going to make progress a lot faster. Again, kind of like how I was saying that this is going to take time to reach. I think it's just giving you advice in the sense of like, it's letting you know not to set yourself up for being like, everything is going to fall into place perfectly and at the exact time that I want it to be, because I'm not seeing that as being what's going to happen. But I do think that you're going to reach it in the end, because we have both the Sun and the Chariot like right next to each other, which these are very positive cards. Again, I see this as a completely positive reading, just that there's some inner things that need to be worked on. So with the Sun, this is about like obviously like fun, warmth, success kind of thing. It's about having this like positive outcome, this positive vibe going on in your life. And it's really about being filled up with this like passion and emotion of just like happiness. And then right next to it with the Chariot has this intense feeling of like victory, of having the courage and determination to do the things that you want to do. So I think for advice, it's just make sure that you try to keep yourself positive and just keep trying to push forward with this like this momentum of like self-love, of courage, of confidence, and things like that. And you're going to be able to reach the end goal that you want to. That's what I'm seeing here in the reading so far. So I'm going to pull a few more cards just for any last messages for group number 3. What last messages do we have to share with them? The first one that we have is Capricorn. So you could be a Capricorn, it could be your sun, moon, or rising, or perhaps someone in your like friend group or family is a Capricorn that you can rely on. And in the card it says determined, ambitious, and integrity. So it could just be that you need to use these traits to push yourself throughout this time, being determined, knowing that you're eventually going to reach your goal, and just keeping true to yourself, like with that integrity, is keeping yourself in check and knowing that as long as you stay true to yourself, you're going to have a positive outcome. And we're also seeing the new moon card coming out, which says, I open my heart and set my intention. So obviously with this being a new moon reading, it's very beautiful that this card came out. And I think that I feel really touched with seeing it saying I open my heart, because in this card here, in a lot of artwork of it, it's actually a heart that's been stabbed with the 3 swords. So it's kind of like giving me this feeling like you have your heart shut down kind of thing, and like closed off from other people and other things that could be like really fulfilling to you. So seeing this come out and being like on this card here is, I really think it's tied to that, is you needing to delve deeper into your heart and like what it is that could be hurting it, and setting your intentions to that new and to what you want in your life and what you want to manifest for yourself later in life. One more card. We have the waning crescent. So it says, I pause in stillness and reflect. So again, this is calling you to reflect during this time, and also showing me that passage. So making sure that you know that it will take time for you to recognize when recognize the things that have happened in your life, and just being able to kind of look back on it and know that there does need to be that healing journey before you can progress further. Sorry, I got really distracted, so I'm kind of feeling like you may be also just distracted, that like it's always been in your heart, but it just hasn't come out in such a long time. That I think, yeah, this is calling you to kind of give yourself that moment to actually think more about what you've been through and how it's affected your life. So let's get some self-care cards for group number 3. What are some things that group 3 can do during this time? This first card here says journal. So if you don't already journal, maybe take it upon yourself to go ahead and start a journal of your day. Maybe you need to, maybe you're the type of person that needs to plan things out completely, or maybe you like having kind of a to-do list. So journaling either can be very much about your routine and just making sure you're getting things in order, or of course how you're feeling. And since we are dealing deeply with like mental state and how you're feeling and everything, I think being able to write things out would be very helpful for you. There's something very, very special too about pen and paper, like journaling, versus just writing it on your phone. There was a time where what I would do is I was like waking up, and I was, as early as I possibly could, I was grabbing like a pen and paper, and then I was just like writing, and I just filled up the entire page of anything that I was thinking of, and just to get it out kind of thing. So it's like you don't even have to read back what you wrote. It doesn't even have to make sense, but you just getting your words out there from everything that you were thinking of the past couple of days, or throughout like the night. If you had a dream, you can write about that as well. Any of those things could be very helpful in just releasing it to the outside world, especially if you're not sure what it is that's in your heart that is hurting. This can sometimes bring those things up where you just didn't even recognize it. One more for you for group 3. The last one we have here says soak in a bath. So being able to really like rest and relax is something that you should be called to do too. So if you are somebody who like it's very fast paced kind of thing and you are normally a shower person, maybe after you shower one of these days over the next couple days, or even during the new moon, maybe you should take like the time to do a bath ritual. Go ahead and give yourself a self-care day and just rest and relax to try to help you set your intentions and really get in touch with your emotions. Because of course, whenever I see water, I always think of emotions as well. So you being able to sit in this like stillness, being able to relax and try to be as open and vulnerable to yourself as possible would be great during this time. And then I'm going to pull one of these cards as our last little message for group 3. What other messages do we have? Ooh, I'm actually pulling 2 because they got caught on each other. So this one says, ask yourself, who am I being today? Now recalibrate. So if you're somebody that feels like you have to put on a lot of different masks and everything to appease certain people in your life, or you think like people aren't going to accept me for who I am, try to use this time to align yourself best to who you naturally are when you're by yourself. You shouldn't have to put on airs for other people. So I'm really getting that strong message for some of you is that you really do put that pressure on yourself very strongly, that you need to act or be a certain way in front of other people versus yourself. So try to go about life as if they don't like me for who I am, then I don't need them in my life. Try to allow yourself to be strongly who you are. We're also seeing if you have clarity, you have a path. Stop, breathe, get clear, act. So this is kind of like indicative of, well, reminds me of this waning crescent card where it's the I pause in stillness and reflect card. So it does feel almost again like you need to have time where you have to give yourself a chance to breathe and really think about what it is that you truly want in your life. And again, like stop, breathe, clear your mind, and then move forward kind of thing. And we're seeing again that in here, in the Ace of Swords, that you are going to have that clarity, you're going to have that breakthrough moment. We're seeing that positivity in the Sun and the Chariot, that you are going to be able to push forward. It's just right now, just throwing up the signs that you need to pause and have this moment to really focus on yourself. I'm seeing this very much as you needing to get in touch with yourself again and really rein everything together before you can step forward into this new chapter of your life. So if you liked this reading or it resonated with you, remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more tarot pick card readings in the future. And also, if you feel safe to do so, feel free to post in the comments a candle emoji to let us know that you did reach this point in your reading. And hopefully that you are able to lean on this sort of support system that you have. You can tap into your feelings and really work through any sort of those past issues that you've had until you finally get hit with this mental clarity and have an amazing future laid out before you. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you in our next video. Have a great day.